What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we are going over the new hotfix 3.2.03. Bunch of stasis changes. It's a lot of them, so we're gonna go over them all for you guys. And let me tell you, playing Crucible this morning, I got frozen maybe twice in like 5 games. So stasis might be dead, PvP might become fun again. I guarantee you're gonna be seeing a lot more top tree dawns. Striker Titans are coming back, I'm sure, and then probably a lot of Spectral Blades in all seriousness, because that was the meta before, and we'll take a look at how much stasis actually got changed. Alright, so we are starting right here. General stasis. Your stasis freeze now is reduced to 1.3 seconds against players. So this means that you cannot break out of any freeze besides supers, because supers happen to be a little bit longer. So there's no breaking out of grenades or when you get frozen like that anymore. You just, that 1.3 seconds is up and you can just walk out of it. Reduced special weapon, heavy weapon, and light ability bonus damage versus frozen players from 50% to 5%. So that just means damage is getting decreased across the board for getting hit by weapons, which is quite nice. Besides, your primary kinetics are still going to do just about the same. Pretty cool. Definitely helps not having that instant kill once you get frozen. This right here is probably one of my favorite ones of the entire thing. Stasis slow no longer reduces weapon accuracy, and it's actually working perfect. So when you get slowed, your gun's not going all over the place even though you know you're putting it on its head. It's right there, and the flinch is definitely increased, but it's not a crazy amount by any means at all. You can also Icarus dash, shoulder charge, stuff like that out of freezes now and slows, which before it totally stopped you from doing that, which is also amazing. As they say here, there is a problem with ionic blink, but they're trying to figure that out in the future. And you don't move as slow anymore, so as soon as you get frozen, you're not going to get ran up on by a 100 mobility hunter. You might be able to get a little bit farther and get an angle and get some shots on them. So that is super exciting to not just die instantly and lose all sense of control as soon as you get touched by anything stasis wise. Next, we have 2 fragments that got nerfed as well. The Hedron's fragment, it doesn't grant you that damage anymore after freezing opponents, so you're not getting 2-tapped instantly after someone gets cold snapped. So that is really cool. It now increases weapon stability, aim assist, mobility, resilience, and recovery after being frozen though. So it adds a decent amount, but it's a lot better than throwing a cold snap and then being able to 2-tap everybody for 10 seconds. Also, the Whisper of Rhyme fragment no longer provides an overshield while in the super, making supers easier to kill in their stasis. Dropped a Titan earlier in Behemoth and it felt great. Next, we're moving on to the cold snap. No longer does it seek targets after the initial target acquisition, so it's not gonna jump around left to right. Increased arming duration between the seeker spawn from 0.3 to 0.8, so it takes a second for it to find its target. Reduced detonation radius for players by half from 3 to 1.5 meters, and it now bounces off walls and detonates on the ground, so you can't just throw it on a wall and happen to get somebody trying to jump away from it. Next, we will go over the Titan Behemoth, their Shiver Strike, your light attack, reduced flight speed and distance, so mobility is gone. Reduced knockback, so you're not going to get Falcon punched around a corner and just get sent across the map and hit a wall and die anymore. Removed slow detonation on player impact, so when you do shoulder charge someone and they don't die, they're not going to be slowed anymore. Cryo Chasm. So your slide now requires Titans to sprint for 1.25 seconds before activation while not in their super, and it has no cooldown anymore, so you just gotta run for 1.25 and then you can slide, run 0.25, slide. There's no 2 slides and then a cooldown anymore. Next, your Howl of Storm aspect. Reduce the angle of the initial freeze cone, which this is great. This is where you slide and throw up that ice wall. You used to freeze people that were not even close to you. The cone was gigantic, so they narrowed it down for us, which is really awesome. They also reduced how big the crystals were and how fast that they came out of your slide, so it gives people a chance to escape faster. And they also have smaller crystals when it's on the wall now, so it's not the same thing coming straight out of the wall. Next, your super here. Reduce the heavy slam vertical freeze range, which is kind of cool. So when you're slamming on the floor, it's not traveling out 80 meters and freezing somebody. And then also they got a little nerf in damage resistance, which I felt earlier, like I said. Slapped a Titan out with just a melee and a shotgun. It was wonderful. Next, we got our Hunter Revenants. First off, we got Withering Blade. Reduce slow duration for players from 2.5 to 1.5 seconds. So that's really nice. You're getting slowed way less. So the Whisper of Durance slow duration extension versus players is reduced from 2 seconds to 0.5. So instead of you getting frozen for that extra 2 seconds, it's down to 0.5. That is a super big reduction. Reduced damage versus players from 65 to 45. After one bounce reduces further even to 30, so you're not three-banging an entire team with one shuriken. That is beautiful. Reduce projectile speed by 10%, so they're slower. And the tracking got reduced as well. So Winter's Shroud has the same first two nerfs as Withering Blade. Touch of Winter. So Cold Snap no longer seeks an increased movement speed or travel distance. That is really good. Cold Snap Seeker now spawns a small stasis crystal on detonation. Finally, we are going over our Shadebinder Warlocks. Pernoble Blast, reduced tracking and proximity detonation size and tracking versus players. That is awesome. And the freeze radius versus players when impacting environment got reduced from 2.7 meters to 1.5. So if it hits a wall next to you, if you're dodging away, it's not going to freeze you. If you're far enough away now, it's only 1.5 meters. Those Ice Flare Bolts. Seekers now only chain once they spawn from player shatter, so it's not chaining just from getting frozen. Winter's Wraith, your super. Freezing projectile tracking strength now ramps down to 0 after 2 seconds of flight. So you can't just float around and send those things across the map forever anymore. After 2 seconds, the tracking goes down to at 0. So those were all the changes from this Destiny 2 hotfix right here. 3.2.03 just went live yesterday on Thursday, just in time for trials this weekend. So hopefully the rewards are great and we can get a lot of the community into trials and try to get some rewards. Hopefully they're good this week. So hopefully this helped you guys out. I know I didn't show much before and after gameplay. I couldn't record it. But there's a great video from Astacross, not gonna lie. He did a 45-minute video on the before and after effects of each one, so I definitely recommend going and checking that out. He is a great tester for this game. Probably one of the best, him and Cactus for sure. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.